Welcome back to another Texas Chain Saw Massacre, the game video. Today, it's been about a week since the Texas Chain Saw Massacre came out, and we're going to jump into a full-on weekend review. We got a whole bunch of pros. We got a whole bunch of cons. I think the pros heavily outweigh the cons, but the cons are still there. We have some things we want to talk about. Changes that... the thing is, I don't know if there's a lot of changes I actually want to happen, but I noticed some problems that may come into play.
Yeah.
That's all. As for how to I'll present some ideas on how you could fix them, but maybe not. It could be worse. I don't know. But yeah, let's start with the pros and we'll get to the cons later. First of all, the game design, I think, is the best game design we've seen in the asymmetrical multiplayer horror space.
Absolutely.
It just works. The 3v4 works. It just makes it so much more special, so much more fun. I
mean, that was something that a lot of people were concerned about. They're like, all these games have one killer, and they make the killer so not OP, but the one killer equal the 5, 6, 7 victims, if you will. But yeah, 3v4, a lot of people were worried that family is going to be OP.
Yeah, usually with games like this, it always, at least so it seems in the life cycle of these games, at some point after changes and balance changes, it always ends up getting to the point where the victim side, the survivor side, becomes overpowered and they start bullying the shit out of the killer side.
Yeah.
It seems to always get there. It got there with F13. They made some changes that helped, but you can still kind of, the bully squads are out there. Dead by Daylight, it's certainly out there. I mean, Evil Dead got that way. It seems like all the adjustments, they tend to cater to a new player. Mm-hmm. And as a result, it makes it where the victim side ends up getting really overpowered. Yeah. And where the balance sits right now, and this is one of the pros of the game to me, I think it's really balanced. Don't get me wrong, you probably run into bully squads already, and they have every mechanic down to a T. Yeah. But how rare is that?
Yeah.
It's rare to actually get to that point. And even at its worst, when you're getting bullied, it is counterable most of the time.
Yeah. I mean, even last night when we were streaming, we went against a bully squad, and first game got absolutely destroyed. Yep. More so they bullied us the first game. The second game, they didn't really bully us. They just all escaped right away.
Yeah. We got one.
And the third game, we got them all.
Yeah. So things like that are counterable, but it takes teamwork. And that's a part of the game that I love. I love the fact that you have to work together as a team. The downfall of it is that communication is so key. I mean, I know you're probably out there, the solo queuers. You jump into a solo queue and you're trying to talk to your teammates and they don't talk back. And you're like, damn. So there goes like one of the biggest things you could do to be successful in the game is gone just like that.
Yep.
That's tough. And at this time, at least, there's no communication system in game. There's no emotes. There's no call outs. There's no voice things you can activate. I think that's one of the cons of the game right there. Not everyone's going to jump onto a mic. Some people either don't have a mic or they just are too shy or whatever it is. They don't want to talk to people. They're living in their mom's basement and they have to be quiet because mom has to work tomorrow. Like been there. Okay.
Yeah.
So they don't want to talk. All right. Well, so find a way that they could talk in game, and the chat system's there, but you can't do it on console.
Yeah. Like a ping situation.
Yeah.
Like spotted victim here, need help here, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like that would alleviate a lot of problems with people either in party chat with, not a full team.
Yeah.
Or your solo queuers with also people that just don't have a mic or don't want to be on a mic.
Yeah. You have to be careful with an actual ping system. And I know that's why they don't have it, because then it's too easy to make the communication. Like if you're on the victim side of things and you found a fuse, you just ping it. And then
fuse.
Yeah, you just walk away. The marker stays there, and now they all know where it is. The part that's hard is when somebody says, "Hey, I found the fuse. You just need to go to this room, this room, this room." You got to know the map. You got to know the layout then, and it makes it way more challenging. If you just put a goddamn marker on a map, anyone can follow a marker.
Yeah.
So they just got to kind of figure out that balance. But I think there needs to be something that says, "I'm working on this," or "I need help here." Something, because right now there's just nothing, and if you're not on voice chat, you're out of luck.
Yeah,
that's how it is. I already mentioned the team-based killers. I love that. I love the 3v4 system, and it's way more balanced than I ever thought it would be. The replayability, so far, I mean, I not even remotely bored. And even with these like 12-hour streams, I get to the end of them and I still want to play.
Yeah.
I wake up the next day and I want to play again.
Yeah. It's been a while since, honestly, probably Friday the 13th, when a game comes out and we don't just say, all right, we're going to stream. And we hop on, we stream a bunch, get off, do something else.
Yeah.
Next day, okay, it's a job.
Yeah.
And Friday the 13th was the same way as Texas Chain Saw. You want to play even though you just played for 12 hours straight.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Exactly. When like Predator Hunting Grounds came out, we did 2 long streams and then we're already like, damn, I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah. and you know, we would get our ass whooped and we just want to keep playing. Yeah,
that's the thing. It's frustrating to lose. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a very competitive person. I want to win, but in this game, losing's just losing, and you just go on to the next one. But since we get to that point, competition. I love the competition. I love how competitive it is, and I know Wes on that stream talking about metagame said that the game's not about being super competitive. That it's more like casual fun. Not a chance. Not a chance. It is nobody. I mean, it's out there, and there's a lot of really nice people, but that doesn't mean they're not competitive. It's an insanely competitive game, and when you have a metagame as deep as they do, and mechanics like the door mechanic and the stabbing and the stunning and the abilities, dude, it's insanely competitive. And you've got squads that have everything figured out, and I like that. I like that they have to do that. There are some mechanics that I think I would change, and we'll talk about that later in the cons portion, but yeah, I love the competition. That's what makes it so replayable. You want to come back and grind and grind and grind. And I just dig that.
Yeah, I have, you know, when we're playing killer, our squads together, like we're competitive. When we switch to victim, man, I don't give a shit. I'm having fun. I'm trying my best, but I don't get upset.
Yeah,
like it can be fun, of course, but there is a competitive side.
Yeah,
to it. Sometimes
competition is fun. Winning is fun.
That's what our football coach said.
Yeah, winning is fun, boys. Yeah, so I dig the competition side. I really like that. I like how competitive it is, and that a lot of that comes with the team side of being a killer. You know, when you play like Dead by Daylight's a really good example of this. When you play killer, there's so much pressure. There's so much pressure on you in that 1v4 scenario, and you got teams doing these insane loops and flashlight saves and just. You know, you're in a really tough spot. You know, when you're getting your ass whooped, you got nobody to depend on. It's so much pressure. That pressure, it's there still in this game, but it's alleviated so much by having 2 other teammates there that you can comms with and be like, hey, go over there, get in position, I'll push them towards you. I love that side of things, and that's really just added to the replayability and the competition that we have in the game. My next pro here, I think every character in the game is great. We're going to do a tier list. Some victims and some family will outweigh others, but I think everyone has such a unique ability and can be amazing. Even like, I know people shit on Sonny all the time, but even Sonny has his ability can be insanely clutch.
Yeah. However, you know, with a con with that is like Sonny's ability, it has to be level 3. And you have to be able to differentiate your victims and your family for it to be very, very effective. The difference between level 2, Sonny's ability, and level 3 is astronomical.
Yeah, and that's pretty, at least from what I've seen for everyone that I've maxed out, it seems to be that way. Like when you get to Leatherface to level 3, it's a whole other story. When you get the cook especially, when you get into level 3, completely different game.
We were cook doubters for a while. We didn't think it was as effective as maybe Johnny or even Sissy.
Yeah.
But
dude, when he gets to level 3 and he can highlight victims in red for the whole family, unbelievable. And they don't know that they're being highlighted in red, and they just sit there and wait. And the next thing you know, like you're coming up on them, you're running at them, you're charging at them, and they have no idea that you know exactly where they are. It's led to so many kills. So yeah, the cook ability is insane. But yeah, you just got to get everybody leveled up. You have to max them out to get to that point. But that's why when we see people backing out so much over and over again to get the character they want to play, I'm like, why? Everyone can be great. Everyone can be amazing. And I think that's I had never seen a game do it as effectively as TCM has, where every character is fun to play and can be extremely effective.
Yeah.
So I dig that. The metagame is great. You have very long and big skill trees. The attribute points and the way you apply them changes how you play entirely, and you could do different loadouts. The perks are actually way less game changing than I thought they'd be. Some of them do insane stuff, but I was expecting perks to kind of like break the game, and they're not too bad.
No, some are better than others, of course. And leveling up those perks, some of them are nasty.
Yeah,
but yeah. And do you have loadouts? Do you have different loadouts set?
I have one for Leatherface, but otherwise I kind of just stay with the one.
Yeah, I have not experimented into different loadouts yet. That's definitely something I want to do.
Yeah, because especially what we're seeing map to map is a huge difference, and that's a good thing and a bad thing. The maps play completely different, and that adds to replayability because you don't just feel like you're playing the same shit no matter where you go. The escapes are the same, but they're just I don't know, the layout changes everything.
Yes.
Like you on the slaughterhouse, you're gonna go for the valve. On family, who has opened the fucking valve at the family house? It's so rare.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's so rare for somebody to go for the valve on family house. But slaughterhouse, it's every goddamn game. It's every game. So I like that the way you play and where you go changes based on the map you're on. But it creates some insane balance differences between the maps, and we'll talk about that later. But yeah, I think changing your loadout map to map is going to be really important. Now, the next one, this could be a pro or a con, depending where your mentality is. But the grind. I mean, the grind is insane. To level up in this game takes a long time. It takes a long, long time to get the XP to level up your overall player level. And the only way to get skill points to apply to skill trees on characters to max out those characters is by leveling up. And you're only getting 5 to 10 skill points depending on what level you're at. And man, that takes a long time. Yeah. To have as many hours as I feel like we already have. It's only been a week. I mean, but still, it's like 100 hours already. And to have only, I think I have 3 characters maxed out. It's like, man, that's a hustle. It's a hustle. But I love that.
Same.
Yeah, I love how long it takes to get to that point. And then on top of that, you have the unlockables that I really want all of them. I think there's some really cool ones in there. So there's that part where you're leveling up for those too.
Yeah. Yeah. My PS5 went down, unfortunately. My house got struck by lightning. It fried my PS5. So I'm going to buy another PS5 here in the next couple days, and I'm going to have to start all over because I've been playing on Xbox.
Yeah.
But I'm ready. Let's go.
I would cry if I had to do that, dude. I'm like, man, my leather face and everything else is so much work.
I'll get there. I mean, if our cook carries us like he always does, I'll be there in no time.
Yeah, I know some people are getting like really frustrated, and I understand it too, because if you're not in our position where you're playing so much, you come home after a long day of work, you get a couple hours in, you go up like maybe one level, maybe. When you get to the point where you're at like 30 plus, you go up like half a level, right? So that could be really disappointing as a player doesn't get it's more casual, and
right.
It's like, man, they're never going to get to that point where they have, and we already talked about the importance of having characters maxed out, especially like having their ability maxed out. So it's it's a game that definitely caters towards those who have the time to put in.
Right. Also, the game's been out for a week.
Right. Right. But yeah, if you're in that position where you don't have time to max shit out, I think it's going to be a game, like, let's talk about like 4 months from now. New players join, new DLC comes out, it catches the attention of a new player, they decide to buy the game. I think they are going to be on the struggle bus. It's a hard game to learn in the first place, but then you combine it with people who already have every meta figured out, have max level everything. What are you going to do? That's why skill-based matchmaking to me is going to be extremely important, and I hope it gets put into place. Because otherwise, man, I feel like it's just going to deter so many new players. Like, wow, I have no idea what I'm doing.
I mean, we feel bad. We feel really bad when we're level 40s
Yeah.
And we see level ones and zeros we're going against.
And it's been a week.
And they can't make it out of the basement.
Yeah. It's been a week. Imagine 3 months from now when you have 3 months of experience versus someone who just bought the game. It's going to be pretty bad for new players. So skill-based matchmaking is something that will help with that. I don't think it's going to completely fix it, but it'll help with that. So we'll see what happens there. And the next pro for me, first of all, the tone of the game. We talked about that a little bit, but when they announced a Texas Chain Saw Massacre game, I was like, man, how are you going to capture the tone and grit and the feel of the original TCM? And somehow they did. Mm-hmm. It's not quite as like driven in this docu style filmmaking, right? But God, you can tell you're in the world of the Texas Chain Saw Massacre the second you step into the game.
Colors, darkness, dialogue.
Yeah, the score, Ross Dragon's score, incredible.
Yeah, it's they got it.
Yeah. And dude, the Dolby, this is the first asymmetrical multiplayer horror game that I've seen that has Dolby Atmos, and bro, it will fuck with your head to have these sounds everywhere around you. Mm-hmm. If you're wearing good headphones while playing this game, it makes it even that much scarier. So I strongly recommend that. Yeah, get some good headphones out there. If you're not playing with a headset in general, play with a headset, even if it's a cheap one. Make it happen because it really changes the experience of the game. Mm-hmm. Then my last pro that I want to point out, I already kind of mentioned it, was the unlockables. There's a ton of them. There's like 120 something. It's 160 something, I think. And some of them are videos. And there's actually some videos that seem to be teasing future content, or pictures that are teasing future content. And I like that. And that's a part of the grinding experience. But that's something really cool, that it shows more of like Gunn and Sumo's passion for the IP, to have behind the scenes photos of the original film and have it mixed with the mocap and the concept art and all that. Yeah. I think it's really cool.
Absolutely.
Okay. Those are the pros. Great game.
Yeah.
Love it. But there are some cons, some of which are like pretty glaring. We'll talk about those now. I mentioned the unlockables. I actually think on the other side of that, there's a tremendous lack of unlockables on like cosmetics and like Leatherface's chainsaw skins. Those were just a free download. Why weren't those unlockables?
Right.
And the way the unlockables work on characters is just playing enough games as them. It's not actually getting XP and leveling up that character. Mm-hmm. It's just it's just
playing games.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that's a grind, I guess, but it feels so simple. I don't know.
I mean, also, the game's been out for a week. The first day we streamed for 17 hours. So we had them all in the first, 2 hours.
Right. Yeah.
So take that from, our opinion. Take that into account.
Yeah. I wish. Well, let's see how they handle cosmetics in the future. Maybe they're all paid for. Maybe they're I don't know how they do it. But yeah, one of the biggest grinds with F13 that they had was unlocking cosmetics, and that's just not really here at all.
Right.
So I don't know. That's not that big of a deal to me, though.
It's cosmetics.
It's just like I'm not one that's like, God, if we don't get cosmetics in this game, I'm gonna hate it.
Where's my swimsuit pack?
I've never been one of those people, so I'm cool with it. That's fine. There's just icing on the cake to me with cosmetics.
Yeah.
The first couple of days, there were some server issues. The biggest issue that we were seeing was what we talked about: people not getting the character they want, and they jump into a lobby, they instantly leave, and then you're just kind of held there hostage there. And the thing I hate right now, and I think they already said they're fixing it, is that you can't, when you're in a lobby, and that happens, where we were getting held hostage to sit there for 5 minutes because somebody left and it glitched the thing. To back out of the game, you have to break the party, disband the party, and invite it. And because they don't have a friends list for cross-platform play, you have to send a code. I'm so fucking sick of typing a code to you in Discord. It's driving me nuts.
Right. And then another issue in the first couple days where they were generating invalid codes. So you literally couldn't play cross-play with your friends.
That's fixed, so it's not that big of a deal anymore.
It's fixed now, yes. But yeah, a cross-platform friends list would definitely have, what's it called? Avoided all those issues.
And not doing a cross-platform friends list, the biggest fall, you're telling people to go into games and meet new people, meet friends, get on comms, talk to people. Oh, okay, I get on comms, I talk to these people that I've never played with before, and I like them. I want to play with them again. How? You can't. You can't. If I'm on PlayStation 5 and I run into a PC player that I'm like, oh, I like this guy, I want to play with him again. You can't. You literally can't. It's
unless you somehow exchange Discords in that short amount of time after the game.
Yeah, right. So it's just, that's the downfall of not having a cross-platform friends list. Yeah. So I like how simplistic the code system is, because you can just toss it up and whatever, anyone could join. But that's another thing for streamers, though. It hasn't been bad for us, knock on wood.
Every once in a while, we get people filling our lobby.
Yeah, but if you're a big streamer trying to do this stuff,
you have to switch your whole scene, send your friend a code off stream.
Yeah, so that no one sees the code.
Yeah.
I really hope they implement a system that actually allows you to add crossplay friends, because otherwise half the point of the game is kind of missing.
Right.
I want to make friends. I'm trying to have friends out here.
Yeah. Another con with crossplay is hacking.
And this is the biggest, probably overall the biggest con of the game itself. Every game like this, especially because they're using easy anti-cheat, is going to have hackers. It's part of the PC gaming experience, right? But I've never seen a game of this popularity get hacked the way it's getting hacked. For these people to go into lobbies and be able to just take control of your character, switch characters whatever they want, they can actually make it where they change your speed, they change how you move. We had someone come in and make us start doing F13 emotes. Like, that is so bad.
All in less than a week.
Yeah.
Of the game being out, you can have someone control all the victims and make them do Friday the 13th emotes while they walk up and kill you.
Yeah, I've never seen it that bad. And you can just leave. Right?
Absolutely.
And that's fine, but dude, to have games just completely taken hostage like that, you see hackers all the time in like Call of Duty, right? Where they have aimbot or they have speed hacks and they're controlling themselves. They're doing it to their character and only their character. To have a whole lobby be manipulated like that, I've never seen it before. Not like that.
No. I mean, I've seen a character, literally teleport as they were being marked by either Grandpa or our cook.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I'm, walking, and all of a sudden, like a shooting star, I see Leland fly across over the gas station, over the road and escape out the road.
I don't get the fun in doing it. It's a good laugh here and there, but most people are just going to leave. They run into a hacker and they leave. So is that fun for you?
Right.
I don't get it.
Invincibility.
Usually hacks are more subtle so that you can still you can make it feel like you're gonna die and you're having fun with them. But these guys are just completely blowing up the game and making you dance and shit. It's like, okay, all right.
Yeah. It's rough out here. The pros of crossplay, you get to play with more people, meet a bunch of new people, more available players to play with you. Con is half the games you probably can't even play because someone is either slowing you down or just holding the game hostage.
Yeah, I really wish there was a way to just shut off PC players. I mean, I know from what I've seen, I've never seen a game do it where I want to play with Xbox players. I want to play with PlayStation players. I don't want to play with PC players, especially no offense, PC players. Like I play on PC too, but they're in a game like this when you can play mouse and keyboard. Aside from hacking itself, which hacking's bad, but aside from hacking itself, man, mouse and keyboard in a game where 360 spinning is so important. Mouse and keyboard players just on another level. Yeah. And when you have that big of an advantage, I'd rather just go play out with Xbox players or PlayStation players. Yeah. But yeah, whatever. It happens. But on top of the hacking thing, I don't know I think Sumo Nottingham is maybe just not as experienced with a multiplayer game like this, because to have the hacker thing be so bad, the worst I've ever seen, the leaks are horrific. And we try not to cover leaks. I do it for the sake of Gun and Sumo, where I know they worked hard. I know they created a marketing plan. I don't want to cover leaks because it just ruins it. But there's nothing really being done to stop leaks from happening. Like Reddit posts are allowed to happen, videos are allowed to happen. I'm like, okay, well, do you want leaks? What do you want here? And to me, to see even more leaks happen after the tech test, because the tech test had a ton of leaks, for the actual game to come out and that all those files are still in there, to be leaked even further, where you can straight up go play characters that are unreleased. Like, what is that? I don't like that. So I'm like, I think Sumo is coming from like a bit of a lack of experience in this world of like the multiplayer setting. They've created a really cool, really polished game. Mm-hmm. But man, the leaks and that side of things we're seeing is some of the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
And yeah, you absolutely feel for them, because the hype, the secrets they're keeping all already ruined. Our first content drop is ruined to the point where people are like, it's a week after the game come out and they're asking for it. Yeah, where are these people? We already know everything. Just give it to us. Yeah,
that's why leaks are so bad. I know people say like leaks create hype for when they first happened.
Yeah.
But when those leaks happen 2, 3, 4 months before the content ever comes out, by the time you get the content, the hype's gone.
Yeah.
The hype's completely gone. And that is why it's so disappointing to see all of them. And at the end of the day, like, it's no one's fault but Sumo and Gun. Like, if they're in the files, you put them in the files, and you can't be mad at the people that are leaking it, because you did it. Right. It's so they need to, in the future, I don't want to see this shit this bad again. I really hope they find a way to just kind of keep the files out of the public builds and find a way to keep it on the dev builds, because it sucks for them, and to me it sucks for us. Like, I don't want to see this shit. I don't like seeing my presents before Christmas. Okay. So that's my biggest cons of the game: hackers and the leaks and those types of things. But let's talk about actual like game design things that are a little bad. There's not many of them. I think the one thing that's can be bad is the victim trolling. And don't get me wrong, it's a part of the game. I don't blame anyone that's doing it. If you're using the door mechanics, like I've done it with Leland, using the door slams, using the repeating bone scraps and stabbing them in the back, then door slam again, then you're just in this loop and loop. The game is designed for you to do that. So if you're using it as a player, that's not your fault. That's, again, the game design fault, okay? But I don't like it.
Yeah, I was upstairs of the family house, and in the upper landing, sort of where two fuse box locations are, and I got stabbed or shoulder checked by Leland. Okay. Mm. As soon as, Leatherface I was Leatherface. As soon as he, gets out, he lifts the chainsaw, and it's quite a long stun. Uh-huh. He slams the door on me. So by the time I get up, raise my chainsaw, he already crawled around through the crawl space to the other door and immediately got me there. I couldn't even move. I was stuck. Yeah, dude. Until someone else came up to get him away from the door.
I'm really glad that I've been like, usually I see it coming. I can tell by their level and how they're moving. I'm like, okay, I'm mentally prepared for this. Usually it cracks me up. But I see the glaring problem, right? And it's counterable. So like what we now do with Leatherface is we're destroying every fucking door in the house. Yep. Before, like, okay, the second Grandpa wakes up, get upstairs, destroy every door in the house.
And yes, that counters that, but also it makes the victims a little easier for them to move around without making any noise. I mean, even if you don't slam a door, you can still hear them shut.
Right.
So we lose that advantage there, but also we're not getting trolled.
But then you get the advantage of the chase too. You don't lose the line of sight. You're not opening doors after them every 2 seconds. Yeah. So you just have to destroy the door and you counter it. But man, it's just it's not even. I don't think the door slam should be taken away.
No.
I'm not saying that at all. It's the length of the stun and the ability to repeat it so quickly is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And actually, so I was playing we got into a game with some very popular Dead by Daylight streamers. Yep. We played with Aaron and Rapid Main, and Rapid Main had me in this loop where I think he had the perk on. That, by the way, there's a perk that makes door slams even worse. So it's like, but he had it where it would stun you for 16 whole seconds. Okay, so he'd hit me with the door, and the way the stun works with the door slam is that you can't walk. It's not that you can't swing, but I literally couldn't walk forward once I stood up. By the time I would start to be able to move, he got me again. And he got me like 6 or 7 times. It's probably going to be a video. I imagine Rapid Main's going to post a video on it.
Yeah.
Because, he just kept getting me over and over again. And I'm like, man, I don't know what you want me to do?
The counter to that was me coming and chasing him away from that one door.
Yeah, and maybe that's like what Gun or Sumo were thinking. It's like, well, just get your teammate to come help. I'm like, I hear you. It's a team-based game, but dude, he held me hostage. Yeah. I said it in the street to my Rapid main is holding me hostage right now. Luckily, we killed him, but I think he literally let us kill him. I think he might have felt bad for hurting my feelings so bad.
Yeah.
But so I think the door slam in general, I'm okay with it. I think it's ridiculous that like 120-pound Connie can run through a door and knock 6'7", 330-pound Leatherface on his ass. But whatever. Beyond the logic, I'm okay with the door slam. I just don't like when it's repeated 20 fucking times before I can counter it again.
Right.
And then you combine it with the bone scraps too, and it just gets real bad. If you get and this is where new players are going to be so deterred quickly, is that you get a experienced victim team against a newer family team, and they are just gonna beat the shit out of you. They're gonna beat the shit out of you so bad. And then this brings me to my next point. The difference between the maps and the balancing is so insane, and there are some choices on the maps that I just cannot wrap my brain around.
Right. The balancing is pretty solid, but the map definitely can sway an advantage to a different side, which some can be counterable, but there's one glaring one that is almost uncounterable.
Yeah, the worst one by far is the valve escape on Slaughterhouse. And I don't get why they made the choice to put every single valve location for Slaughterhouse in the basement. Because all they're really telling you to do, they're promoting that you just camp the basement as Leatherface or something. Maybe that's what they want. I don't know. But it's already hard enough to learn that basement. Most people want out of it. And then you get people that know what they're doing, know where to go, and they get the valve done like that. And okay, you take the time as a family member to learn the basement and where the valve locations are. That's why we posted a video on it, so you can go shut it off. But then there's somebody down there with bone scraps, and so the only way to counter that then is to have two family members down there. So you got to have two family members go out of their way to go down in the basement just to turn off a valve. Meanwhile, there are three other victims upstairs doing other things.
The third family member is running to the valve escape because we're saying, "Oh my God, maybe we'll get this valve off." So they're running to the valve escape, and they're already at the battery.
Yeah.
Through the slaughterhouse.
Three other victims are doing something else because you can't counter it.
No, and bone scraps are right there.
Yeah,
in the basement,
because it's a basement. There's a million bone scrap piles.
So a counter that worked a couple times for us was having Hitchhiker go down there and trap the valve.
Yeah, if they were smart enough to not, or if they were dumb enough to step in it instead of using a bone scrap that's all over the place to destroy it.
Right. The counter then to the counter is there's a bone scrap pile right there.
Yeah, dude. There's literally like, here is the valve. Here's a bone scrap pile, like 2 feet away. Like, so it's so easy, really, unless you get two family members down there, it's easy to stop it, especially if it's a Leland. Because then you stab them, and then you shoulder, and just those 2 stuns, that's enough for the valve door to open. And because it's an escape where everyone can run through it, you get the whole team out in 2 seconds.
And it is open for a very long time.
Yeah, long enough. And then everyone... And this is fine because this is part of the game, but everyone's putting their builds into toughness. You have a lot of people putting their victim builds into toughness, so they take a ton of damage, and then you have on top of that even if you are all standing there, the entire family is standing there ready to go, the odds of you actually stopping a victim, slim to none.
I mean, there was a point where you had a charged Leatherface attack. I was Hitchhiker, and I don't know if our cook got a hit in, but I got 2 hits in. You got a charged chainsaw hit.
Yeah, that knocked them to their knees.
Yeah. They got up. I hit them 2 more times, and they still ran right out.
Yeah. It's just, the only way to stop one of those victims, if they have full health, is if Leatherface gets a knockdown and you're right there to get the extra hits in. And even then, it's still, Yeah. Man, I just, literally, I wouldn't care. Bring the valves upstairs. Yeah. And I'm done complaining. Like, I just don't get why they're in the basement so far away from everything else it makes it it's so easy for victims to escape on that map with the valve. Is if they're working together at all, they're going to make it happen.
Right. All you need is two people in the two victims in the basement working on the valve to protect if a family member comes down while the valve is opening.
Yeah.
And that's it, because in theory, your other family members are going to be completely out of the way. And by the time they get down there, the valve's open.
Yeah. On top of the valve location on Slaughterhouse, the fuse location is by far the easiest to find on any of the maps. So you have, well, not the fuse box itself. I mean, pretty much everybody knows it now with the 3 locations, but the fuse exit, the basement exit at Slaughterhouse is the easiest to find, and it's right next to a crawl space. So yeah, it's pretty easy for people to do that one as well.
Yeah. And then there can get a perfect spawn where you come right up the pen, you walk right out, there's a fuse, and there's the fuse box. One crawl space, you're in the basement, and then you run down the stairs to the basement, one crawl space, you're out.
Yeah.
I mean, and hey, that happens sometimes.
Yeah, I don't even care about that.
Right.
The only thing that bothers me is the valve locations, because it just feels broken. At least with the fuse box, like they had to at least like earn in and run by and whatnot.
Get an unlock tool.
Yeah.
Possibly get a bone scrap to disable a trap.
Yeah, because the thing is, as a family, those fuse boxes are upstairs or out in the open. You should have seen it.
Right.
The valve, that's not the case. That's just not the case. So much harder to counter. Actually, you know what's even another fix for me? You don't even have to move the whole valve locations. It make it where they turn them. The family turns it off faster, right? Because it takes a significant amount of time to turn it off as a family member. So that's why, for me as a victim, this is what I do as a victim at Slaughterhouse. When I turn on the valve, I will watch them turn it off for, that 5-10. I'll wait until they're at least halfway done turning it off, and then I'll stab them. And then they'll go do it again, and they'll get halfway through, and then I'll stab them again. And by the time it's open,
then it's wide open, and it's so long.
Yeah.
I mean, especially on that map, it just can't be that long.
Yeah, it's really not even, the length's fine. I mean, it is long. It is long. I know it's long, but god damn it, at least I feel like they earned it if I didn't have to be in that situation in the basement where I can't have any help with family to stop it, Right. That's all. I'm done bitching about it. But it's the things, but okay. The Slaughterhouse, victim sided, you can escape super easily. But then you go to the family house, and the dynamic completely changes. It completely changes. Getting out of the house is harder. You're never going to see a valve escape there sometimes, but it's very rare you'll see a valve escape. Right. And then the only thing that you really, really need to be on top of all the time, because you could blink and they'll all escape, is the fuse box. So as long as you have the fuse box covered at the family house, you pretty much can just you glance the doors and that they're going for gen. If they're going for the battery.
Right. You can hear the window if they jump out the windows.
Yeah. So then on the family house, it's like really family sided. The balance changed in completely.
Right. And that's even with one less obstacle hindering the generator, because the generator doesn't have a set of doors with locks on it.
Yeah.
Whether it's out front of the family house or back by the barn. So, but even then, I mean, we could stop a generator escape really quickly without a trap, without any cook locks on them.
Yeah, because you should know that they're going for it.
You hear them.
It's so much easier to kind of, if they're out of the house, you've narrowed it down pretty quickly. Pretty much the only thing that you could slip up on and they would all get out in the blink of an eye is that fuse box escape.
Yep.
And it happens, don't get me wrong, but that map is way more family sided. The gas station, though, I think overall, it's pretty even. I think it's pretty even over there. The only hiccup on that map is what everyone's calling the secret escape. I don't think it's very fucking secret at all.
No.
But yeah, the secret escape on the gas station map. It's the front door to the gas station. It doesn't have any sort of electricity barricading it. So you don't even have to turn off the generator over there. You just pick that lock and go out. Mm-hmm. So why would I ever turn off the gen? That's another game design thing. I'm like, why? Why would you do that?
I mean, it's a strategy. By the time a family member comes and sees that the gate is unlocked, if they don't know about that door, they're going to say, okay, I don't see anyone around the gen. They're going to walk through the grass. They're not even going to go in the building, because why would you need to? Check the lock at the gate, see if the gen's still on. okay, I'll just keep my eye on the gen and see if there's anyone kicking it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you've already picked the lock and you're standing on the road teabagging.
But like what you just described is exactly my point. Like, why design it where that door is just completely different than everything else we've seen in the game? Like, I don't understand it. Like, why would I ever even shut off the gen then? I mean, the strategy.
It's not a secret exit. It's an extra exit.
Yeah. And I think they should literally just barricade that door. Or have the electricity also go to that door too. I don't get why you can just completely skip one of the exit steps and go out and just run out there. Because that's what they're going to do. Especially when you have a character who's devoted to picking locks. Why would you have that door like that? That one just doesn't make sense to me. And then there are things I don't understand in general on some of the game design things, or map design things. Like, if you go to the gas station map and you go over to the left side after you get outside of the gas station, there's just like a random run around in the bushes that is completely separate from anything else I'm like, why is that there?
Yeah, I mean, Leatherface can come one way, but there's a crawl space to get through the other side, so you'd have to walk all the way around. It's just for trolling.
Yeah, it's like some things are just designed to fuck with people, and I'm like, that's so weird.
Like, maybe there's an Easter egg that we just don't understand.
Yeah, maybe. Like, that's one of those things I'm like, man, when you were designing the map and you were laying things out, what was the point of this one?
Like, is it possible? Because there is another one on that map where there's a car that you can crouch down as a victim and get into. And if you're playing against a Cook and a Johnny, they can't get you. Yeah, so you're going to stay there and bleed out.
Yeah, not only that, they're never going to fucking find you.
Right, they'll never find you unless Grandpa's level 5.
They're never going to find you.
Yeah, what is the point of those? Maybe in a future, one day we're going to go there and that's going to change. There's going to be something there, like a newspaper or a body or in that first example, a car is there now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a troll spot to wait out the game and have them look every inch of the map for you, and they'll never find you.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, it doesn't change the game, right? Like, no. I'm not like being like, wow, this fucking spot's so stupid. I'm just like, why? I just want to know why they're over there. Because, like, dude, they literally put 2 obstacles over there in a crawl space. Why? Are they expecting you to be in chase when you go out the gate? So they're giving you one more chance to get away from the family right there before you get to the road. Just, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, but you have to take a sharp left,
a hard Lenny, yeah,
and then loop around before you go here and then out to the road. Whether you could just,
it just feels like way more of a hiding spot than anything.
Yeah, maybe they have plans for a future Easter egg there or something.
I don't know. It's just weird. But I mean, overall, because I know I just explained it as a con, how different these maps are and how the balance changes, but it actually really adds to replayability because the way you play and what you defend or what you go for as a victim, it changes so much map to map, and that's a good thing. But goddamn, some of them are like, not even so, just a slaughterhouse. Really, it's like, why? For God's sake, man.
Yeah. I mean, the family has got to be so spread out to patrol the different doors and stuff. Meanwhile, valve's open. So now one person goes down there, they're getting stabbed and shouldered by Leland.
Right. And if you're actually being spread, because man, it's really relying on the family to know where the hell they're going. So that's another thing. But you'll learn eventually. But yeah, it's like if you are spread out, you have someone over by the gen, someone over by the battery, the odds of you even getting back down, especially if you're in the slaughterhouse, you're on the battery side, there's no staircase to go down there unless you go to the holding pen. Or, I mean, there's a ladder. No, there's not. Yeah, so on the slaughterhouse, there's no way to get back down to the basement unless you go over to the workshop or the tool storage, or you go over to the holding pen. That's a fucking mile. Dude, it is a long-ass run. So if you're over there, you are out of the question. You're not making it.
Yeah. If you're a cook, you might as well just start eating your sandwich. Because, man, you ain't going anywhere.
Yeah. So, God, it's just, you basically have to have someone chilling over there. I don't know. That's the only one where I'm like, this is probably a little too far one way. But, yeah.
No, I mean, just, I'd say, about 6 out of 10 times, maybe more on the slaughterhouse, more than 2 or more victims get out. On the gas station, it's some games we clean sweep. Then the
Sometimes
very next game,
they all
they're
get
all
out.
out.
Yeah.
And then the family house, I'd say, 6 out of 10 games, we're killing 3 or 4.
Yeah, probably even more than it's probably more like 70-80% of the time that we're getting at least 3 kills on Family House.
Also, we're a coordinated family. We're a squad.
Yeah.
So
that's why
is very important.
That's why even more so I say, like, I know every single valve location on Slaughterhouse. I know I'm communicating with my team. I know that we're trapping the valve. I know that we're like talking about it, and it still happens all the fucking time. Like, man, could you imagine being a family that doesn't know the basement super well, that doesn't have a hitchhiker, that doesn't, it's not on comms? Like, man, whew, it's a tough one.
If you're not on comms as a family on the Slaughterhouse, have fun with your 400 XP.
Yeah.
Because that game's over quick.
Yeah. But it still takes, at the end of the day, it still takes an organized victim team. Like, you still got to, they still have to be talking. They still have to be working together. Yeah. So,
And the game's been out for a week. Just a week.
Yeah, I don't know if that's, like, good for the argument or bad for the argument, because it has just been a week, and yet they have got that shit figured out. But also at the same time, it's like, oh, it has only been a week. Family will figure out how to counter it.
Right.
So exactly. It's both sides. You're like,
does it feel like a week? Does it feel like it's only been a week?
Well, we saying like it feels like it's been more.
Yeah.
Well, just because how many hours? Yeah, it's like every day when you're playing that long. Yeah.
But I wish I was playing right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go play right now. But I mean, that's pretty much the end of the review. That is my point. The thing is, people have asked, like, how do you compare it to F-13? Which one's better? This game is more. I think it's better designed. It obviously is more polished. It has less bugs. But they're so different. They play so different.
Yes.
And then you get the question, like, I loved F-13. Will I like TCM? I think so. Yeah. It's another fun asymmetrical multiplayer horror game, and it fits into the space really well, and it's done things in the genre that we've never seen before. So yeah, okay, what would you give it out of 10? Out of how much fun I'm having? A 10. Give it a fucking 10.
I wouldn't be playing it for 12 plus hours a day.
Yeah, how much fun I'm having? A 10, absolutely. It's based on like game design and some things I'd want changed or whatever, this and that. 8, maybe all the way to a 9, like GameSpot gave it. But man, I'm having a fucking blast. Even when the things that piss me off, like Slaughterhouse, I'm like, but then the game ends and I'm like, well, on to the next one. It's over. Then you move on to the next one. Who cares? But
yeah.
And
it's okay for it to get competitive. Competition can be fun.
Yeah.
Just get those hackers out of here, man.
That's the biggest one. If you ignore everything I said about the Slaughterhouse and don't change a thing, I'm fine by that. Just get rid of the fucking hackers and the leaks. Hackers, leaks. Stop it. Get some help,
please.
Okay. That's gonna wrap this thing up. Let us know your thoughts on the Texas Chain Saw Massacre so far. Do you love it? Do you hate it? What do you want to see changed? Any of that, let us know in the comments below. That's gonna wrap this video. If you enjoyed, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. And of course, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.